There is a quiet, powerful force within each of us waiting only for our attention. It is not something we can grasp with the mind or manipulate with effort. It simply is an ever-present source of healing, peace, and restoration. When we pause even for 3 minutes and turn our awareness inward, we align with this infinite presence. In the stillness of meditation, all tension begins to dissolve. The mind, often restless and scattered, finds its natural calm. The heart opens, and a gentle current of life moves through every cell of our being. This is not a process of doing, but of allowing. Healing is not imposed, it is revealed as the natural expression of the infinite intelligence within us. During these 3 minutes, surrender becomes your ally. Release the desire to fix, to control, to force. Simply rest in the awareness that the presence of life within you is complete and whole. Trust arises naturally, and with it comes a profound restoration that transcends understanding. The body, mind, and spirit harmonize effortlessly when we step aside and allow this inner presence to be fully felt. Awareness is the key. When we recognize the divine I Am within, we touch the source of all wholeness. Fear and limitation fade, replaced by clarity, peace, and a quiet joy that carries into every moment. Even in the brevity of 3 minutes, consistent practice awakens a deep inner sanctuary, a place where healing occurs naturally, silently, and powerfully. Thousands who have experienced this simple meditation testify to its effects. Physical ailments ease, emotional burdens lift, and the mind finds clarity. Yet the greatest healing is often unseen, a renewed sense of unity with life itself, a recognition that we are never separate from the source of all health, harmony, and love. It is not the duration that matters, but the depth of attention. 3 minutes, fully lived in awareness, can touch the infinite. It is a reminder that within each of us lies a sanctuary of healing, always accessible, always perfect, and infinitely powerful. In these few moments of quiet, may you touch that presence. May you feel its restorative power, allowing it to flow through every aspect of your life. And may you remember that true healing has always been here, waiting only for your attention. 1. Silence is far more than the mere absence of noise. It is the gateway through which the infinite enters human experience. In the quiet moments, when external distractions fade and the mind ceases its constant chatter, there is a profound opportunity to encounter the presence that heals, restores, and renews. The world often teaches us that action, effort, and striving are the paths to change, but in truth, the deepest transformation arises when we allow ourselves to be still. In stillness, we discover that healing is not something to be forced or earned. It is the natural expression of life itself, flowing effortlessly through every cell, every thought, every breath. Silence is a vessel in which the mind can rest, the heart can open, and the body can align with the intelligence that sustains the universe. It is in these quiet moments that the subtle energies of being, which are otherwise drowned out by the noise of our busy lives, can be perceived and embraced. The act of entering silence requires a gentle letting go, a surrender of personal agendas, anxieties, and the urge to control. As the mind withdraws from its habitual patterns of judgment, comparison, and worry, a deeper clarity emerges, revealing that health, peace, and balance are inherent qualities of life, always present, never absent. In silence, we are reminded that we are not separate from the source of all healing, and that our inner essence is untouched by the fluctuations of circumstance or condition. Even a few conscious breaths in stillness can awaken an awareness that surpasses understanding, showing us that every thought of fear or limitation can dissolve in the presence of calm. Silence does not demand perfection or lengthy practice. It only asks for sincerity, for an intention to step aside from the noise, both external and internal, and rest in the awareness of the infinite. Within this space, a subtle yet profound transformation begins. The body may release tension, emotions may settle, and the mind may experience a clarity that seems to come from nowhere yet has always been there. Healing is not a distant goal, but an ever-present reality that can be realized when we give ourselves permission to enter silence. to experience the life that is already whole and complete, and to allow the restorative power of this quiet awareness to permeate every aspect of our being. 2. Healing is not something we create through effort or struggle. It is the natural expression of a presence that is already within and around us. This presence is universal, infinite, and ever available, not limited by circumstances, time, or understanding. When we become aware of it, we begin to recognize that every part of our being, body, mind, and spirit is intimately connected to this all-encompassing intelligence, and that true restoration arises when we allow ourselves to align with it. The universal presence is not a distant force to be sought or summoned. It is the very essence of life that animates all existence, flowing effortlessly into every moment, ready to bring balance, clarity, and wholeness. Many seek healing as if it were a product of effort or a reward for persistence, yet it is in the recognition of this omnipresent source that transformation occurs without struggle. When one rests in the awareness that this presence is always available, there is no need to push, to chase, or to manipulate. The life within knows exactly how to restore itself and every part of our being. To experience this presence, one must gently release the illusion of separation and the belief that healing depends solely on external conditions. The mind may be tempted to question, to analyze, or to doubt, but the simple act of turning inward and acknowledging the ever-present life that flows through all things allows a profound sense of peace and health to arise spontaneously. It is in this quiet alignment that the body can renew itself, emotions can settle into harmony, and the mind can perceive reality without the distortions of fear, tension, or limitation. The universal presence does not compete with personal effort. Rather, it works through the sincerity of our awareness, the openness of our heart, and the stillness of our attention. When we allow ourselves to dwell in this awareness, even for a brief period, a subtle yet powerful healing begins to unfold. We begin to realize that we are never apart from the life that heals, and that every difficulty, every imbalance, and every challenge is met not by struggle, but by the natural activity of this all-pervasive presence. It is a living, breathing reality that invites us to experience wholeness now, to embrace the inherent perfection of life, and to witness the unfolding of harmony within ourselves, knowing that the source of every cure, every comfort, and every restoration is already present, always available, and infinitely powerful. 3. Surrender is often misunderstood as giving up or resigning oneself to circumstance, yet in truth, it is the doorway to true healing and transformation. To surrender is to release the tight grip of personal will, the constant striving of the mind, and the anxious clinging to outcomes, allowing the deeper intelligence of life to operate freely through us. Trust is the companion of surrender, a quiet knowing that there is a perfect presence within, infinitely wise, infinitely loving, and infinitely capable of restoring every aspect of our being. When we allow ourselves to rest in this awareness, we begin to perceive that our attempts to force change or control results are unnecessary and even obstructive. The human mind often believes that effort alone will bring resolution, yet true healing arises not from struggle but from a gentle yielding to the natural flow of life itself. In moments of surrender, the heart softens, the mind becomes still, and a subtle alignment occurs that the intellect cannot produce on its own. Trust is not passive. It is an active recognition that the infinite presence within knows what is required and responds with perfect precision to every need. To practice surrender and trust is to release judgment, fear, and the incessant mental commentary that separates us from wholeness, and to embrace a consciousness that is calm, receptive, and fully aware of the life that is always flowing through us. Even when circumstances appear challenging or the body shows signs of weakness, surrender allows a profound peace to emerge, revealing that health and harmony are not dependent on conditions but are inherent qualities of the presence we inhabit. Each moment of letting go, no matter how brief, strengthens our connection to this invisible yet tangible source of restoration, enabling the body to relax, the emotions to settle, and the mind to perceive clarity beyond reasoning. Healing, in its most profound sense, is the effortless activity of life when we step aside from personal effort and allow the infinite to work unobstructed. The practice of surrender and trust does not demand lengthy rituals or complex methods. It simply asks that we acknowledge our limitations, release our need to control, and rest in the presence that always knows, always heals, and always restores. In this state, every cell of the body, every thought of the mind, and every feeling of the heart participates in a harmonious unfolding, demonstrating that the act of yielding is not weakness, but the ultimate strength, and that true restoration is found not in effort, but in the serene embrace of trust. 4. Conscious awareness is the bridge between the human mind and the infinite presence that heals and restores, a gentle turning inward that allows us to recognize the life that is always flowing within us. It is not merely thinking or observing, it is a deep, receptive knowing, a quiet attentiveness to the eternal presence that animates every aspect of our being. Through conscious awareness, we begin to see that we are not separate from the source of life, that every thought, every emotion, and every experience is encompassed within a perfect intelligence that operates beyond our limited understanding. When the mind becomes fully attentive to this presence, a subtle shift occurs. Fear dissolves, tension melts, and the body, mind, and spirit align in a harmony that seems effortless yet profoundly transformative. This awareness is not something to be achieved through striving, but something to be realized by simply turning the attention inward and allowing the life within to be known. In the moments when we are truly conscious of our connection to the infinite, we perceive that illness, stress, and limitation are not ultimate realities, but temporary conditions ever subject to the restorative power of the presence that we inhabit. Every thought anchored in conscious awareness becomes infused with healing energy, every breath becomes a channel for renewal, and every heartbeat resonates with the life that is eternal and unchanging. Conscious awareness invites us to participate in life not as a series of reactions or struggles, but as an expression of the infinite operating through us, effortlessly and completely. Even brief periods of this attentiveness can bring profound shifts. Mental clarity emerges, emotional peace settles, and the body experiences a quiet restoration that reflects the deeper intelligence at work. To practice conscious awareness is to cultivate a gentle attentiveness that is steady yet unobtrusive, allowing the mind to rest in its natural state of openness and receptivity, and enabling the presence within to reveal its healing power. It is the recognition that every moment, every sensation, and every experience carries within it the potential for wholeness, and that this potential is realized simply by being present, simply by knowing that we are, in essence, an inseparable part of the infinite life that heals, sustains, and restores. Conscious awareness transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for profound restoration, and it teaches us that the pathway to true health, clarity, and balance is not through external effort, but through the gentle, consistent acknowledgement of the life that is already present, already whole, and already perfect. 5. Healing and transformation are not measured by the length of time we spend in meditation or contemplation, but by the depth and sincerity of our attention in the moments we do devote. Even a brief practice, when approached with focused awareness, can bring profound change, revealing the presence that is always active and ready to restore balance within us. The mind often believes that only long hours or elaborate rituals can produce results, yet the infinite does not measure by time. It responds to the quality of attention, the clarity of awareness, and the willingness to be present. A short, concentrated meditation creates a space where the usual distractions of thought and external concern fall away, and the inner life is allowed to come forward in its fullness. In these moments, the body relaxes, the mind clears, and the heart opens, creating a natural channel for the restorative energy that resides in every cell. 3 minutes, fully attended to, can be enough to shift perception, dissolve tension, and awaken an inner calm that carries through the rest of the day. The key is not the duration, but the intensity of presence, a mind fully attentive, a heart fully open, and an awareness fully surrendered to the life that is already perfect, already complete, and already whole. Even when practiced intermittently, this short meditation strengthens our connection to the infinite and reinforces the understanding that true healing does not require force or manipulation. The body, mind, and spirit respond naturally to this alignment, and the benefits often extend far beyond the immediate practice, creating a subtle but lasting transformation in how we experience ourselves and the world. In the brief space of a few conscious minutes, one can touch the eternal, experience the life that heals, and recognize that limitation and discomfort are not ultimate realities, but temporary appearances dissolving in the presence of the infinite. Short, focused practice is a reminder that our inner sanctuary is always accessible, that the source of health and harmony is never distant, and that we need only to pause, turn inward, and attend fully to the presence within to allow its restorative power to flow unhindered. The simplicity of the practice is its strength, showing us that the divine works not in proportion to our effort, but in proportion to our willingness to be present, to be still, and to acknowledge the life that is already here, already perfect, and infinitely capable of bringing balance, clarity, and healing to every aspect of our being. 6. The proof of any spiritual or healing practice is not in theory, but in experience, and countless individuals have discovered that even the briefest moments of focused meditation bring profound transformation. These testimonies are not mere anecdotes, they are living demonstrations of the infinite presence at work in human life, revealing itself through clarity, balance, and restoration. When people take a few minutes each day to turn inward, even without knowing the mechanics of how healing occurs, they begin to notice subtle shifts, the easing of tension, the quieting of restless thoughts, the calming of turbulent emotions, and the gradual return of vitality to the body. Over time, these moments accumulate into a deep sense of wholeness, and the experience becomes undeniable evidence that the source of life within is always active, always restoring, and always available to those who pause and attend. Thousands who have practiced this method testify to its effects, not because they were seeking proof, but because the presence that heals cannot help but express itself when given attention. Their stories show that healing is often unexpected, subtle, and yet unmistakably powerful, touching areas of life that the mind could never orchestrate on its own. Physical discomfort may ease, emotional burdens may lift, mental clarity may emerge, and a profound sense of inner peace may settle, all occurring naturally as the individual aligns with the infinite within. The testimony of experience reminds us that true restoration is not contingent on time, effort, or external circumstance. It is an ever-present reality that manifests whenever we recognize the life that is already complete and whole. These experiences encourage others to embrace the simplicity of meditation, showing that even a few conscious minutes can produce changes far beyond what is visible or measurable, that the quiet attention of the heart is sufficient to awaken the healing intelligence inherent in all beings, and that the power of the presence within does not discriminate, but works equally for every sincere seeker. By observing and sharing these experiences, one begins to understand that the healing is not extraordinary in itself, it is the natural expression of the eternal life that we all carry, always ready to reveal balance, clarity, and restoration. Testimonies serve as a living invitation, encouraging others to step aside from struggle, to pause in stillness, to trust in the infinite within, and to experience directly the life that heals, renews, and restores, showing through countless individual examples that this quiet, focused, and sincere meditation is universally effective, infinitely gentle, and profoundly transformative. In the quiet embrace of stillness, in the gentle surrender of personal effort, and in the full awareness of the presence that flows through every moment, we discover that healing has always been our natural state. It is not something to be sought outside ourselves, nor is it dependent on circumstance, condition, or understanding. The 3 minutes we devote to focused meditation are not simply minutes, they are doorways into the infinite, reminders that the life which heals, restores, and renews is already within, always available, and infinitely wise. Each experience, each testimony, each gentle shift of body, mind, and spirit confirms the truth that we are never separate from this presence, never apart from the source of health, balance, and wholeness. And so we return again and again to the quiet, allowing the life within to express itself effortlessly, trusting that restoration flows naturally when attention is given, when surrender is practiced, and when the awareness of the infinite is embraced. In this realization, we find not only healing but peace, clarity, and a deep recognition of our unity with life itself, knowing that in every moment, however brief, the infinite is at work renewing, restoring, and bringing every part of our being into perfect harmony,